On today's podcast, would you like to buy that extended warranty? This is the Ultimate Deck Podcast with Wade and Shane.
Yep. That's it.
Right into it.
Just hitter patter.
Yeah.
Where do you come up with these ideas?
I don't know.
You want to buy the extended warranty? No, I never buy the extended warranty. There's not one time have I bought the extended warranty.
Well, here's good news. When it comes to decking, you don't have to buy an extended warranty. You just get a warranty with it.
Comes in there.
But how good is it?
Yeah.
So
This
finally,
is interesting, right?
This is interesting, and Bruce Dunnigan Decking he's been on my ass about this one for a while, and I think
Maybe they don't have the internet in Australia. He couldn't do this on his own.
Yeah, maybe not. A couple episodes ago, I think I committed to like, okay, fine, next week we're doing the warranty one. We're finally going to do it. And then we had Sean from Rusty Shovel kind of one day was like, hey, I'm totally down to do a podcast. When can I pop by? And I was like, oh, well, come on by. Like, and it was convenient. So we just kind of squeezed that one in there.
It snowed. Nobody else is here. You might as well bring us coffee.
Yeah, that's right. So we pushed this one by a week.
This is going to be great, though.
And I did actually hear about it, not from Bruce. I heard about it, I think from Simcoe Dex is like, but he's like, oh, Bruce is going to be mad. What happened to the warranty episode? So this is a big topic. And so we're breaking it up. We're not going to do like, where do you start and stop with this? Like what brands do people want to hear warranty information about? Like, and you can't pour through pages and pages of font size 6 warranty documents for 50 brands. So what we've done here is we've taken the big 3 and we'll start with that. Because
I think that's probably what most people are interested in, right?
Yeah, it's going to cover off most people. Like, and we'll get to like, I think ultimately what we'd like to do is cover off at least the brands that we stock. So today we're not going to talk about Clubhouse, Decorators, and Wolf because those aren't considered to be the big 3, but we'll get to those ones. Another episode we'll do those ones.
Yeah.
But what we are going to do today is Trex, TimberTech, and Fiberon.
Yep.
The big 3. So these are the ones that people are going to be most familiar with. These ones are going to be like probably the most similar warranties, but everybody's got fine print. And so what I've done here is I've tried to comb through. I spent the last 7 minutes looking at the warranty documents.
Yeah. Didn't bring in any legal advice or anything. Just read it and then tried to deduce what they said.
Yeah. So I spent more than 7 minutes. But I didn't spend an entire day. So I went through everybody's warranty documents, and there's a few. Some of them are easier to get through than others, but I tried to deduce from it what we needed to know and kind of pick out the key highlights. Not because everybody's got a long list of exclusions and all this crap. And if you started getting into that, it would get a little messy. But what we're doing is taking the main things. How long is the warranty? How does it depreciate? What does it cover? How do you get it? Like what are the kind of the main highlights of the warranty that are kind of applicable when you're actually making a purchase of this stuff?
Yeah.
And so,
are you going to tag these people in there and let them know that you've done this on the...
Who, the guys who make these warranties and these boards?
Yeah, like Fred.
Oh, I would have to.
Fred and Jeff and I don't know, whoever they are. But like TimberTech and AZAC and Trex,
because
you're going to let them know. So,
well, sure, because undoubtedly we didn't write these warranties and we're not lawyers to get through the jargon. Undoubtedly, I'm going to say something here that's not entirely accurate. So I would like those guys, if they hear something and it's like, that's not... There's already one thing in here that I'm not 100% confident in that I'd like somebody to clarify for me.
Okay.
And so if I tag them, maybe they will.
Good call.
So,
and then the other thing I think are we going to put a picture up, like a picture of the spreadsheet or a spreadsheet?
Yeah.
So maybe other people can reference it too. Yeah.
I'm going to take a little bit more time to kind of format it to make it look a little bit nicer than what we got here because it's a lot of fine print and how do you put that on Instagram and make that legible? But I'll find some way to, like an infographic or something that'll make it look a little prettier.
Maybe it's 3 pictures and you know how you can put pictures in a series and you like swipe left, not on Tinder, but like on...
Or a downloadable ebook.
Right.
Shoot me now. Okay? Would you like to buy? Would you like to?
And then you got to subscribe and then buy and then.
Would you like to download my 4-page warranty ebook? No.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to it. So Trex, TimberTech, Fiberon are the big 3, and we like some of these brands have kind of split up their lines. Their lines have different warranties, and so we've kind of split it out that way as well. But the things that we're gonna kind of the topics or items that we're going to cover from everybody's warranty for comparison's sake is what is the length of their residential structural warranty? What is the length of their residential fade and stay warranty if they have one? what is the length of the commercial structural warranty? Just touch on that. Like we're going to focus on the residential side more, but
yeah, but I think it's good to know that there is a difference commercial.
Yeah.
That's foreshadowing.
How much so some more foreshadowing, like fading is not complete, like nothing's fade proof. So what is their allowance? Like what are their allowances for how much it's allowed to fade before they will cover it? Do they provide a labor warranty, replacement warranty?
Yep.
One thing that most contractors are probably familiar with, but DIY homeowners may not be, is the fact that these warranties are not, you can't take them at their face value because 25 years isn't exactly 25 years. They're all prorated in some way. So we're going to go through that. How
it's called a depreciating asset, I think.
I always call it like a depreciating warranty. Prorating is what everybody else seems to call it, but we like to be different. Whether it's transferable. So I think that's one that people probably don't touch on much. And that's one that I picked up reading through these documents. That I was like, that's important. I wonder if some of these guys don't allow that to be transferable, or who does. And so we're going to touch on that.
Yep.
And then just kind of a lot of them are very similar. Like reading through some of these, I got the impression that maybe somebody was looking over somebody's shoulder when they were writing their test on the warranty.
Sure.
There's a lot of wording that's very similar. So I feel
copy and paste.
Some of them have probably looked at each other's warranty forms and be like, oh yeah, shoot, we should have that too.
Yep. That's how I got through university.
Yeah.
Just copy and paste stuff.
Yeah. So here we go. Trex. This is the big one. This is one everybody knows. The nice thing I noted about Trex's warranty is that like no warranties are straightforward and easy, but theirs was probably the least complicated of the bunch because their warranty applies to their entire lineup, and that makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, there's no confusion. If I buy Island Mist, is it the same as clamshell? Yep.
Yeah, as far as the warranty goes, it is. Yeah. Install instructions will be different. How you get the warranty might be different, but at the end of the day, the warranty is covering the same things.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. That's like...
That water bottle was obnoxiously loud. Eh?
Good thing you weren't opening a beer.
Right. So Trex. So residential structural warranty length. The length of Trex's warranty is 25 years. Most people in the industry are probably familiar with that, or if there's one piece of this warranty, they know it's that. Oh, they offer a 25-year warranty.
Fade and stain. Yeah.
That covers the structural integrity of the board, and they also match that with an additional fade and stain warranty of the same length. So you got a 25-year structural, and what structural means is it's not going to split, it's not going to splinter, it's not going to fall apart from termite or fungal decay or things like that. It's not structurally, it's going to stay good for 25 years. 26 years, it will turn into freaking dust and it's gone.
Gone, yeah. But that's okay because your framing turned into dust 10 years before that.
That's right. So. And you're still hanging on to it.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think it's good. Then, I'm just gonna pull these boards off and we'll use that same frame.
Nothing a little G-tape can't fix. When you get into, I'm having trouble whether we should go through like all of Trex's points and then go across, or if we should talk about everybody's length of warranty at first.
Yeah,
what
so I'd go like, they don't have the privilege of seeing the spreadsheet, but I would go horizontally.
I think we should go across too.
Yep.
So Trex gives you a 25-year residential structural warranty. If we move over to TimberTech, which would be Trex's number one competitor, nipping at their heels. And I think almost now that they've like between AZEK and TimberTech, market share is probably not equal, but close. They've split their warranties up into their different lines. So Trex, doesn't matter if you're enhanced, it doesn't matter if you're transcend, doesn't matter if you're select, you're getting the same warranty.
Yep.
Not so with TimberTech. Theirs is a tiered warranty depending on the board that you buy. And so I don't want to touch too much on the non-cap composites. I feel like those are the dinosaurs of the industry, but I did take that down. So we'll touch on TimberTech's version of that because they do still have ones out there. But their lines are the TimberTech AZEK line, which is the PVC line under the AZEK branding.
So it makes sense to me that would be a different warranty because we're not the same product anymore.
Yeah, it's made a little bit differently, so it's going to have its...
It's a PVC.
Yeah, it's going to have its own things, right?
Yep.
So they break up into TimberTech AZEK, TimberTech Pro, and Pro covers a few different lines. It covers their legacy line, it covers their terrain line, it covers their tropical line.
Yep.
It covers all of the lines that are four-side capped. That's the determining requirement of the TimberTech Pro line is it's like the Pro line has four-side capping.
Perfect.
And it's composite, not PVC.
Yep.
And then they've got their TimberTech Edge line. So those are kind of and the TimberTech Edge line is the one that's not capped four sides, it's capped three sides. And so those are the three main categories. They've also got their Reliaboard /Docksider / whatever old traditional composites that are obviously, again, don't have similar warranties because they're older, different technology.
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
They knowingly
Yeah.
they knowingly fade and stain, so they're not going to give you warranty and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So I'll reference that from time to time, but okay. So 25 years Trex structural. TimberTech, being a PVC that has no organic content in it to break down structurally, gives you a lifetime warranty. Limited lifetime residential warranty.
Say, is it limited? It's limited.
They're all limited.
Sure.
So they're saying this is basically going to last forever. So for better or worse, it's going to not go anywhere.
Yep.
So good. TimberTech Pro, being that we're back to a composite again, it does have an organic component to it, 30 years. So they've given you a little bit longer warranty.
Yeah, 5 more years
than Trex did. Not quite as high as their AZEK line. TimberTech Edge, 25 years.
Perfect.
Not having that bottom of the cap means it turns to dust 5 years quicker.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense, right?
I'm guessing it's more just like value prop and adding more value to their higher end lines. What do you get when you spend a little bit more? Oh, you get a 4-side cap and a better, like
5 more years of warranty,
more durability, and 5 more years of warranty and nicer coloring. So that's how that looks. Fiberon. And so here's an odd one, actually. When you go back into this is the only reason I kind of kept this in here. When you go to their uncapped stuff, their Reliaboard Docksider, they actually get a 30-year structural warranty again, which is strange that it's longer than the capped Edge product. But I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Fiberon, they've got quite a few lines, but they've also got the PVC line and the Paramount line, and then so that has its kind of own warranty, and then the rest of the lines all have a single warranty as well. So kind of like Trex, but the PVC is separate. So Fiberon composites, which would be your
Good Life.
I need to add something in here because there's also their other kind of like white label brands that have different warranties completely too. But they're Fiberon branded ones. So Good Life, Sanctuary, Protect Advantage, Symmetry, and Horizon all have the same warranty. It's 25 years structural. But their Fiberon Paramount line, like AZEK, because it's PVC, has a lifetime warranty. Yep. Nothing in there to break down.
Yeah.
What I didn't put into my spreadsheet here was that they've also got those other brands, like they've made Veranda for Home Depot, they've made Armor Guard, they've made these other kind of like off-brand, white label, private label stuff, whatever. They all have shorter warranties, anywhere from 15 to like 10 years on some of them. So what are you getting when, Fiberon makes Veranda? It's good. It must just be as good as Fiberon. Hey, it's like, well, they've probably scaled things back a little bit to achieve a lower price point, and they don't warranty it as long. So you are giving something up by going Veranda versus going actual Fiberon brand.
You don't know what that is? You don't know what they gave up?
As far as the actual makeup of the board?
Yeah.
No, I don't know that offhand. Okay. I know that at one point, I believe, and I don't know if this is still true, but I think at one point they were scalloping the Veranda boards that were basically knockoffs of the Protect Advantage. Like gray birch you could get in that, what was it called? Oh, yeah. There's another gray name for it. Like the colors were very similar to Protect Advantage line, but they were scalloped a little bit.
I see.
So I think that happened at one point. And I don't know if that's still the case. They might not be scalloped anymore. But anyway, I digress. Let's get down to that next line, the fade and stain warranty. So across the board, everyone's giving you a pretty solid warranty. You're getting a minimum of 25 years structural. And like to your point, everybody. Yeah, from everybody. To your point, the framing's probably not lasting that long unless if you put some joist tape on there, that'll help. Or if you use steel framing, then great.
The other thing that I always tell people when we're in the store and they're asking me about it, I always tell them it's like, this is a touch of selling snake oil. None of these boards have been made, like they've been made for 25 years, but what we're warrantying has not been made for 25 years.
Yeah.
So they accelerated science tests in labs with coats and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Accelerated UV tests and whatever else they do.
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
Soak them in a water bath for 30 days, whatever they do.
Man, those water baths stink.
Yeah. Well,
right?
When you get out of the tub,
I smell amazing.
Okay, so let's get on to the next line. So and while we're on this, 25 to lifetime warranty on the structural on these good brands.
Yep.
So when somebody comes in and they're like, well, I saw some crap brand at a box store and it was half the price. Yeah, look at the warranties. Guaranteed you're not getting a 25, 30 lifetime warranty on stuff. You'll be lucky to get 10.
Correct.
Maybe 15 the odd time.
Yep.
Anyway, on to the residential fade and stain warranty. So this is important because generation 1 of composites that didn't have the cap, they faded and stained like crazy. And that's part of the reason why the capping technology came in. It was like, boy, we got to stop this because nobody wants to buy a brown deck and end up with a
gray deck.
Gray deck.
Like it just fades out to nothing.
So, and nobody wants, like, what's almost on every deck in the whole world is a barbecue, and it spits grease and stuff, and you slop barbecue sauce, or you throw a chicken breast on the deck or something by accident, and it stains instantly on the old stuff. So this is good. You want a fade and stain warranty.
Might be called a grill in the States, actually.
Whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Now, some key wording that I pulled out of these warranty documents was that this is not a fade and stain proof warranty. This is a fade and stain resistance warranty. And so does this apply to everything? Will your deck not fade and not stain guaranteed? No. There's some allowances there.
Okay.
So as far as the fading goes, we'll get to the allowances later, but they all fully admit in their warranty that things that sit out in the UV of the sun, they don't hold their color. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah. The sun always wins, right? Yeah. It's relentless.
But what they are saying is that in this 25-year period, if you were to take a new board and put it beside an old board, it'd be pretty tough to tell. You could probably tell with them sitting side by side that it's lost a tiny bit of its color, but you will not notice, like, your deck in 10 years from now. You're not gonna be like, boy, that's lighter than it used to be.
Yeah.
Like,
that doesn't match my house anymore. I matched it to my house.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it doesn't match my house.
Exactly.
That's not happening.
That's what they're covering.
Yeah.
And as far as the staining goes, they're also saying, like, listen, this is a stain resistance warranty. We promise you that your deck will not stain if things that should be on a deck get on the deck.
Yeah.
Barbecue sauce, mustard, ketchup, oil from the barbecue, dirt from your shoes. These things won't stain your deck.
Yeah.
If
wine,
sure, whatever. Food and beverage is like basically common wording amongst all their warranty documents that they will cover food and beverage stains.
Okay.
And so
good to know.
Also must be cleaned up within 1 week with soap and water. And that's also pretty much universal across all of them. They all basically say, like, it won't stain as long as it's something you would expect to find in the deck, not a foreign substance, and you clean it up.
Yeah.
Then it won't stain.
Well, that makes sense.
But if you slop some oil in there and leave it all summer, let it bake in, it might.
Motor oil.
Yeah.
If you're changing your engine oil on your deck.
So that's what they're not covering, right? They're not going to cover things like if it was motor oil or, any foreign substance. You bring some, like, I don't know what, maybe you're fixing something on your deck and you leak some hydraulic fluid. Like, I don't know what it is, right? But they're not going to cover that kind of stuff. That, in my experience, all that stuff will wash off anyway if you do it right away. This isn't saying, like, it's going to stain for sure. They're just saying if it does, like, you're kind of using it outside of its purpose.
So what about something like mineral spirits? So you have some wooden furniture on your deck and you decide to put some Q-Tech on it and you spill it and you decide to clean your deck with mineral spirits.
Like, I think it would be okay, personally, in my experience. But I also think that if it wasn't okay,
they'd be like, yeah, not food or beverage.
Like, yeah, that didn't come off your steak.
Yeah.
So that's the caveat there, is that they will provide a fade and stain resistance warranty, and they do have a lot of kind of, and this is across the board on all of them, they do have a lot of kind of like buts in there. Like, we'll cover it, but clean it up. We'll cover it, but don't do weird things on your deck.
Yeah.
Commercial warranty. Now, they all have a reduced warranty in commercial applications. I think we understand why on that.
Did you read over the years of the fade
yeah,
and
no,
stain?
I didn't think that was important.
Okay.
Yeah, no, of course it is. I just jumped right on there. So Trex's case, Trex has a 25-year fade and stain that matches their structural warranty. You get 25 years both. TimberTech lifetime structural warranty, 50-year on the fade and stain.
This is the AZEC. TimberTech AZEC.
TimberTech AZEC, sorry, 50 years. When you get down to Pro, it's 30. Edge is 25. So those match the structural warranties again.
Right.
When you get to TimberTech's Reliable Docksiders and whatnot, they don't, like we said, those do stain and fade.
Because it's an uncapped composite.
Yeah. So there's no warranty there. Fiberon, you get a 25-year as well, same as their structural warranty.
Yep.
Paramount, you don't get one.
Do you think that's going to change?
No warranty for you. Well, I sure hope so.
I think it's going to.
I see you smiling because you know that this one
I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I think it'll change.
I don't know why they don't have one.
They're going to. You watch.
So it's a PVC deck board, but so is AZEC, and so is Clubhouse, and so is Wolf, and so is Vecca, and so is, like, they all have fade and stain warranty. So why doesn't Fiberon Paramount?
They didn't do the testing.
I guess the reasoning they're not reasoning. What we've been told back is, like, it's a marketing thing more than an actual, like, issue. Like, we're not getting we're not getting claims of people saying my deck is faded and stained. And we've sold Fiberon Paramount, and we've never had somebody come back and say, like, it's stained. but for some unknown reason, they don't provide a warranty against that. So
they'll change it.
Take it for what it is. If if it was me and I'm looking at like a Fiberon Paramount board and a TimberTech AZEK Vintage and all things equal, it comes down to, do I get a 50-year warranty or no warranty on fading and staining? I'd have to love the Fiberon one quite a bit to like be willing to give that up at the same price.
Yeah.
So,
because it doesn't immediately instill confidence in me. Like if you can't put that on your board,
just makes you question it, right?
Right.
The same reason that we're looking at like box store boards and being like, look, they only give a 10-year warranty, so they must not have much faith in their product. That's the reason you use when you say like, oh, get a good brand because it's got a long warranty.
Yeah.
So then when you go to this one, it's like, it's got no warranty. It's like, well, why? Clearly it must fade and stain then.
Yeah.
And I don't want that.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't. Well, why don't they? Yeah. Anyways, that's why it drives me nuts.
So there it is.
There it is. Commercial warranties are all like slashed way down. So obvious reasons for that. And like that's with anything, interior flooring, all like fixtures, commercial warranties are always reduced. No difference here. Trex goes from a 25-year to a 10-year warranty on commercial. TimberTech AZEK goes down to a 20-year. In the three that I looked at here, that was the longest commercial warranty. It was 20 years on AZEK.
Okay.
TimberTech on their Pro and Edge lines, they drop down to 10 years, as well as their Reliaboard lines. Fiberon also drops down to 10 years on both their composite and their PVC lines.
So what's the story here? 2.5 times? Is that what we think it is?
Like how much more warranty you get on a residential?
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah. Actually, it plays out pretty well there. Yeah. Pretty close.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the reason for that is because you get a ton more, like if you think about the restaurant patio, restaurant deck, where you have like literally 400 people per day in the middle of summer going through and walking all over that and sitting and scratching chairs and pushing like,
and then the server,
a lot more
right?
traffic.
Like the server walks that area, that pattern around the tables every 10 minutes.
So it's understandable. Fade allowance. So we mentioned that there's a fade resistance warranty on there. They all admit that, hey, these boards are going to fade a little bit. Over 25 years of life of the boards are going to fade a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then they have to have some sort of...
Like my beard.
Yeah.
Faded a
like
little
that.
bit.
It's gone more than 5 Delta E units. So then you have to have a qualifier. It's like, well, how much is too much then? And so they all use the same scale of Delta E units that measures basically shifts in color, basically like fade, like shades of color. And so and this is universal across the board. They all say, the ones that provide the warranty all say 5 Delta E units. And I know we've been down at the plants and I can't remember which plant it was that talked a little.
Not
Trex. Here you go.
It was not the Trex plant.
Somebody went into this in a bit more detail and was like, well, the human eye can only really detect like 3 Delta E units or something, right? So below 3 Delta E units, you could put a new board and an old board together. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Once you get to 4 and 5, if you try hard enough and you really, really look, you might be able to tell if it's sitting side by side and one's faded to max 5 and the other one's that like hasn't faded at all. And you can maybe tell a little bit. Beyond 5, it becomes noticeable.
Yeah.
And then that's where they will warranty it.
Yeah.
So that's that.
So 5, that's good. Across the board, everybody's saying, yep, a little bit.
Who do you think's winning here so far? Just based on what we've talked about here.
So this is funny.
Not that this is a competition. Everybody gets a medal at the end of it.
Everything's a competition. I'm so old, I used to have to win stuff to get a medal, right? So at this point, I like the Trex one for the simplicity of it. It's just like the line is 25. Obviously, there's longer warranties. Like TimberTech has the longer warranty, and that's good. That's appealing.
Yeah.
But it's convoluted. It's like, and it's probably because they're different lineups, right?
Yeah.
Like that would be like asking why Wolf's decking has a longer warranty than Trex's decking. They're not the same thing, right?
Yep.
But what I do like about Trex is it's just like
a little bit simpler.
25-year structure, 25-year fade and stain, allow a little bit of fading.
So I'll tell you what was nice about that is that looking, like doing the research on these warranties, Trex had 2 documents and they were both like a page and a half each. One was the structural warranty and one was the fade and stain warranty.
So that's good.
Period. Then they had other documents for like railing and lighting and their other things. But as far as that went, it was just that. When I was going through TimberTech's warranty documents, it was like 9 different ones I had to look at for the different lines and the fade and stain versus structural and like porch board versus AZEK versus Pro versus Edge.
Like, I understand why they have to do that because they're all different things. They're different boards and they're made differently. And, but I think in a world like consumers want quick answers. We don't want to spend a lot of time looking for stuff. You know what I mean? Like when I'm a consumer and I'm shopping.
That's why consumers don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, I guess.
Nothing's quick on here.
Right? Yeah. But it's just like, I want it to be simple. Just don't convolute this. Don't make it look like you're trying to trick me. Don't do a fine print and several documents.
100%.
Let's just see it.
So on paper, and the reason I ask this right now, not that the Delta units gets talked about, but the reason I ask this now is because those first two lines are the things that you're going to see on any sort of marketing materials. It's like, what's the structural warranty and what is the fade and stain warranty? And so it's a numbers game. Nobody's going to get down into like, oh, well, is it transferable? Like nobody gets into that. So on paper, like it's hard to beat TimberTech's warranty right here. It's the biggest number as far as fade and stain by quite a bit, by twice as much as the next guy.
Yep.
And then it's a lifetime warranty on the board. So it looks pretty attractive on paper there. Like that's a good news story right there.
Yep.
Let's continue on. Labor warranty. Now this one's big. This is big.
Game changer. Really.
Some of the guys that we are not talking about today have really good ones. Like probably the ones that we're talking about down the road might have a little bit more thorough labor warranties than the big three do. But the big three do in some capacity offer some labor warranties sometimes.
Yep. Let's get into it.
This is the one where I need some clarification on. I said I wasn't 100% confident on the answer. I couldn't find. So after a couple episodes ago, we talked about how the Trex didn't have the labor warranty. And I looked for it today because after that episode, I was told by somebody on Instagram that like, actually they do. If you're a Trex Platinum member, you are able to offer a 2-year replacement labor warranty. And I was like, oh shoot, good to know. We'll make a correction. Then our rep was in the store and we're like, hey, can you clarify this for me? Like, is it true that you have a labor warranty on 2-year labor warranty for Trex Platinums? He's like, yeah, gold and platinums get 2 years. Gold and platinums? Yeah. Okay. So then today I expected to see that
on wood decks, 5 years on steel framing.
Oh yeah. Good clarification.
Last time.
Good clarification.
Yeah.
Wood frame decks, 2 years.
2-year labor warranty.
Steel frame.
Trex Evolution.
Presumably you have
Elevation.
to use Trex. Yeah. Careful.
Sorry.
You have to use Trex's steel frame and then you get a 5-year warranty on that. So that's good.
Correct.
But now I'm sure it's there somewhere. You can just ask my wife for how good I am for looking for things
she probably
that I should be able to find.
Them, right?
Yeah.
They probably were where they were.
She hid the warranty documents on it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't find any reference in the warranty documents to saying that if you have it installed by a Trex Pro Gold or Platinum that you get some sort of labor warranty. I couldn't find that anywhere. Contrary to that, I found a giant bolded paragraph in all capital letters that said, in all sorts of legal jargon, in no way will Trex be responsible for the cost of replacing the boards, the installation of the boards, or the freight of getting you the new boards if there's a warranty claim on the boards.
Removing the boards, right? They weren't going to cover the removing of the boards?
Or installation of them.
Okay.
Or the freight.
Okay.
So those things were specifically called out in the document in giant letters that said like, listen, we're going to cover the boards if they're bad, but nothing else. Like not how you get them. We're not going to give you free delivery to your house from the wherever.
Yep.
And like that might get picked up by somebody else, and we're not going to pay a contractor to take them off and put them on.
Yep.
So I don't know where to find the information about the Trex Pro warranty. So if Butch or
Binner,
Jamie or Rob or any of the Trex guys are listening to this and you can point us to some material to clarify that'd be great. I have no reason to believe that what Rob said isn't true. Rob would know. He's our Trex rep for Western Canada. So clearly I just don't know where to find more information about it.
Yeah. And so tell us so we can, we'll share it with the world.
So in my spreadsheet, I've put no because I couldn't find any reference to it.
Yep.
But it sounds like there is in some circumstances.
There has to be something there, right?
Yeah. So TimberTech AZEK. Now this one got confusing again. TimberTech AZEK. I should stop calling them that. TimberTech offers a labor warranty or replacement warranty, they call it, on their AZEK and Pro lines only, not on Edge and not on their uncapped composites. You don't get those there.
Okay.
Now it's really confusing. If you are a TimberTech member or silver member, so that's their contractor program. If you're like the base level one or a silver level,
yes,
you are able to offer a 2-year replacement warranty if you're using TimberTech decking products with TimberTech fasteners.
Okay.
then you can offer a 2-year warranty on that. If you're also, this is my interpretation of this too. So again, now our TimberTech friends, Jeff, whoever else, if I'm not saying this right, let me know. If you also do TimberTech railing as well. So now you're using TimberTech decking, fasteners, and railing on the deck. Okay. You're allowed to offer a 4-year warranty, replacement warranty. Okay. So it sounds to me like just an encouragement to keep it in the family, like use their railing with their trying to bundle sell the deck, right?
Do you think that's because they know how that railing's going to be installed around their decking? Like, because, so this is probably, this is a composite rail thing, right?
Yeah.
And so they know how you're going to run the 4x4s through the framing, and because they've given you instructions on that? Or do you think this is just a straight, like, you spent 20 grand and so now we care more?
I think this is strictly I don't think this is a play to the homeowner. I think this is a play to the TimberTech contractor, the member contractor, to say like, hey, heads up, if you also do TimberTech rail, we're going to cover your labor for for 2 more years on that deck. So like we're covering your back a little bit more. You'll earn more points in your program if you do more Trex rail, or I keep saying Trex. TimberTech rail.
Mad at you.
If you do TimberTech rail, like just the more TimberTech stuff you do in the deck, the more we're willing to back you, is what they're basically saying. I think. I don't think it has anything to do with anything.
Okay. Can't knock them for that.
TimberTech Gold or Platinum, guys, same deal, but it's 5 and 7 years. So 5 years if you're using just the decking with TimberTech fasteners, 7 years if you're doing decking, fasteners, and railing.
Okay. So do you have do you have this jotted down anywhere, what it takes to become a silver member or a gold member? Do you know what those numbers are?
No, I don't have that down. That's a topic for another. Way to go, Wade. Now Bruce is going to be honest to be like, you should do a contractor program. We've been promising that one for a while anyway. We do owe that one. We have to go through the contractor programs. Yeah. That's got to happen. Okay. So no, I didn't put that in there. It's volume based on almost all of them. Sure. Like your tiers are just like, oh, did you buy $100,000 worth of TimberTech or Trex this year? Oh, then you're a platinum member. Yeah. And that's the bone of contention that some guys have, is like, it should be representing quality, like craftsmanship. It should be the tiers, not volume. But
yeah, because I have seen some guys that move a ton of volume that are not good builders. Yeah. So anyways, okay. So we don't, but that's how it works. Digressed. Okay. So
TimberTech Edge, TimberTech uncapped composites, you don't get to offer a labor warranty at all.
Labor warranty.
No. So again, this is is there a structural reason why you can't put that labor warranty on Edge? No, it's just an upsell. It's a value add for the higher end decking products. Yep. Fiberon, yes. Fiberon does offer a labor warranty. It is a 5-year Fiberon partner installed warranty. So I believe this to mean that you have to be, again, a contractor who's approved by Fiberon on their list here. Fiberon partner, if you are and you install the deck, then you get to offer 5 years of labor warranty. All of these are very, there's a lot of fine print saying like, you still have to install this to our install specifications, local building codes, blah, 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 blah. It's still, you don't just get to offer it just because you're a guy and you've sold a few decks before. You have to still follow, obviously, all the rules.
And presumably if they're a TimberTech Platinum or sorry, is it Platinum? Silver? Yeah. They have silver, gold, and platinum, right? Yeah. So presumably if you're a TimberTech Platinum guy or you're a Trex Pro of some kind or a Fiberon partner, you have installed enough. You have talked to some of the reps. They've told you how to put this in. Like, you're obviously following it to their spec and you're installing their boards the way that they want you to, because they taught you how.
Yeah, you should understand how it's supposed to be installed. The places where I could see this getting called out would be like stairs, because a lot of guys, in spite of what the manufacturers are saying, are not doing 8, 9, 10 inch on center stair stringers. They're doing 12s. That shit's so if that was to break or something, then they might be like, whatever.
If I was a contractor, I would just eat those stairs. There's no chance I'd be doing stringers at 8 inch on center. Yeah. Like I don't.
And then the other thing is would be using like non-approved fasteners.
Yep. That's tricky.
TimberTech very much calls that out in their warranty documents and says, these must be like TimberTech approved branded fasteners, not a fastener that has a TimberTech logo on the box, because that doesn't count. Yep. So,
okay. So there's your labor warranties. Trex, undecided, waiting
Trex,
for some information back.
Either nothing or maybe 2 to 5 years on platinum installers only. That's
gold and platinum. Rob said
gold and platinum. Okay, yeah. TimberTech, yes. If you're a TimberTech contractor and at any level, you get to offer something, but you get to offer more warranty in the high end. You're either 2 years or 4 if you're doing railing, or you're a gold or platinum and you're doing 5 or 7 with the railing.
That's a good warranty.
Yep.
Even if you're not doing a ton of volume, you got 2 years that you can offer to your customers.
The thing I don't like about this though, and I get it that you got to offer value to your contractor programs. The thing I don't like about it is there's some guys out there, DIY, or maybe they're even carpenters, but they just don't do decks for a living, that would install a deck better than some deck builders.
Yeah.
Why don't they get the warranty? If they follow all the rules and they do a perfect install and they look at the install instructions and say like, 8 inches on center, and they do 8 inches, where a guy who's installed 1,000 decks might be like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
This guy might actually do this completely, perfectly, properly and doesn't get the labor warranty.
No DIY. Yeah.
Anyway,
I wonder if you could do that.
I think that should be the line.
A DIY contractor or a DIY warranty of some kind.
I feel like it should just be like if you install it properly with the proper fasteners, according to building codes, then you get a labor warranty. It doesn't matter who you are. If it's done properly, it's done properly.
Yeah.
Anyway, now here, this next one, before we get into this one, let's go to the transferable, because I think like there's 2 more categories we're talking about here. It's the prorated scheduling and the transferable. So the transfer of warranty.
This is something I didn't even think of.
Right.
It didn't occur to me.
So what this is you put a deck on your house, then let's say you sell your house. Does the new homeowner get the warranty on the deck? Or is it to the original homeowner only? And once you sell that deck, the warranty has evaporated.
Again, this is like, to your point, it doesn't go with the homeowner. Are you warranting the homeowner or are you warranting your product?
Yeah.
Because
if you sell a car that has warranty left on it, that's transferable.
But I wonder how many times. Have we looked at this?
Yeah, I don't know how many times. So that's the thing. Nobody does this infinitely from what I've seen.
Yeah.
These 2 ones here. So Trex will allow you to transfer a warranty. The original warranty is good to the original purchaser of the product, and it's transferable up to 1 time within the first 5 years of the date of original invoice.
So that makes sense to me because a home builder builds the house and sells the home. And so you've bought a house from your local builder, and they put a deck on there, and you transfer it within the first 5 years because a guy builds it and it takes him a year to build the house, and then he flips it over to you, and there you are. You have 25-year warranty still.
So now the question would be, you live in that house for 3 years, then you sell it. Does it transfer again, or does that one from the home builder to the homeowner count as a transfer?
Home builder to the homeowner, that's the transfer. That's what I would interpret that as.
Yeah. Interesting. We'll have to get more clarification on that maybe, because I didn't even think of that scenario.
You think it should go from homeowner to homeowner? Like it should go from builder to owner? Is that how you think that should work?
I just think the first owner of a brand new built home should be considered the original purchaser of the.
Yeah, they actually didn't pay for it. Well, they did pay for it, but they didn't pay for it.
Kind of, sort of, right? Yeah. That one's tricky. So let's get some clarification on that from the folks that are listening. So what 1 time within the first 5 years? If you sell your house in year 7, you transfer it. Apparently, no more warranty on your decking.
I wonder why that is. I wonder if that's like if it's a document chase thing that they don't want to do. Or if it's just like,
I don't know. Maybe it's just an out. You know, like a lot of people are going to sell.
Sounds like you're so jaded.
No, I'm just like, but maybe it is, right? Like you're offering these huge warranties in the hopes that you're never going to have to actually like see it through.
Absolutely.
Look at electronics warranties, like TVs and stuff. The highest, like if you look at that whole like bell curve of a like defects in electronics, it's like, it's 94% or whatever it is of defects in an electronic will happen within the first 6 months.
Yeah.
And so these guys the TVs come with 1 or 2 year warranties. Then they sell you an additional warranty, and the period that you paid for, the chances of that defecting there are like 1% or less. So like it's a cash grab. You're selling something you're never gonna have to use. So maybe this is just a way for them to have a bit of an out, knowing like this may not be on, like maybe nobody would ever admit this, but let's be honest, when they were thinking up these warranties in a boardroom somewhere, the department, this came up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if we put it at 5 years,
this?
everybody sells their house within, like after, you sign into a 5-year term on your mortgage. It's probably no coincidence that that's the number.
Yeah.
And so then you sell and you move after 5 years. Probably 80% of people move out of their first home after that first mortgage term is up.
Yeah.
And then now there's no warranty there now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I might sound cynical, but I bet you there's a lot more to that than.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Yeah.
So anyways, that's the same for TimberTech. TimberTech also does that exact wording, one transfer within the first 5 years. I couldn't find anything that would suggest that Fiberon's willing to do that. They were very specific on the warranty is applied to the original purchaser only. I didn't see any transfer warranty in there. I searched documents. I did the old Control F, tried to find something on their website or in their warranty documents about a transfer. Didn't exist as far as I could tell.
No dice.
So
who's our guy at Fiberon? Like we talked to 40 Flow, right?
Yeah.
But
Sean, maybe, I don't know, one of those guys.
yeah, Sean would know, right?
Well, I don't know. Neither of them can tell us why it doesn't have a fade or stain warranty.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
But we've been to their plant, so I love them.
Yeah, that's true. So that's interesting. Are you ever going to use that? Is anybody, when they sell their house, even going to think like, oh, I wonder if I should be transferring the warranty on my deck?
Well,
and
they
my
all are
flooring
now.
and my whatever. Yeah,
Right?
probably not many people are worrying about that, but it's in there, so there's good to know.
Worth noting. Yeah, I didn't know that, so that's good.
Now, here's the part that actually matters quite a bit. And this is the prorating or depreciating warranty here. And so everybody handles this a little bit different. There's some similarities and there's some things that we'll note here. But what this is like, yes, Trex is going to give you 25-year warranty. But if you have a claim in year 19, it's not 100% replacement.
Right.
And also, what are they going to do if you have a claim? And most of these guys in their documents will say like it's up to the company to either provide a replacement board or a cash payout or an equivalent board, because sometimes colors go away, like a close match to or a payout or whatever. It's up to the company and gets to decide how to handle it. But across the board, they all depreciate their warranties at some point. It seems pretty consistent that you're going to get full coverage in the first 10 years from everybody.
Okay.
So that's good.
So that's good.
10 years is a pretty good length of time to get a full warranty on.
Yep.
After that is where it really starts to be different from for a lot of guys. So, and Trex is obviously depreciating that warranty over the 25-year period. The TimberTech AZEK is over a 50-year period. TimberTech Pro is over a 30-year period. So they all differ a little bit there, but how much they reduce each year can be a little bit different. So year 9, you have a claim against Trex, 100% coverage.
Full
TimberTech AZEK, 100% coverage. No problem.
Fiberon, full pop.
Full pop. But what happens if you have a warranty claim at the end of your warranty? What if it's in year 25?
Okay, here we go.
Trex will give you 10% coverage.
Okay, in 25 years.
25 at the end of 25 years. TimberTech Edge that has a 25-year warranty, also 10%. Fiberon, 10%.
Okay.
So everybody drops down to 10% in the final year. TimberTech AZEK, though, because they have a 50-year warranty and they depreciate down, in that 25th year, you're still getting 60%.
So that's good.
That's significant.
Yep.
That's where it makes a big deal.
More than half.
So until I went through and did this research, I always thought like throwing that like 50-year warranty behind that thing was more marketing than actual substance. I was like, but who's actually going to have their deck in 50 years? Like how many decks are going to outlast 25 and make it to 50? That stretch, that extra 25 years probably doesn't mean much. But where it does mean a ton is if you have a problem in that first 25 years, TimberTech AZEK's covering a lot more between like period, year like 15 to 25 has a way better coverage.
Yeah, 60% versus 10%.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah. So let's try it again. Let's say 15 years in, you have a problem. Trex, you're going to get 60% at 15 years.
Yep.
TimberTech, you're going to get 80%. TimberTech AZEK, 80%.
Yep.
TimberTech Pro, you're going to get 70%. TimberTech Edge, you're going to get 60%. Fiberon, you're going to get 60%. Okay. So you're around 60% from everybody, but again,
60 up
AZEK,
to
you're
85.
getting 80. Yeah, you're getting a little bit more on AZEK.
I wonder if we should, so when we talk about doing the other ones, the Wolf and Clubhouse and Decorators, I wonder if we should also slide AZEK out of this one and then kind of back into that warranty as well, right? Because it's
there's certainly an argument to be made to
more like products, right?
To do like a PVC warranty comparison
versus a composite warranty.
for sure.
Right? So,
yeah.
Okay. So your
I had AZEK in here because it's all under the TimberTech banner now. It made sense to be like, that's their high end product. It would be unfair to not include it, but it would make sense to also include that into the PVC comparison.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the part I thought was super interesting. And I mean, obviously after 25 years, nobody else is going to give you anything. Well, 30 years there, but like, you have a problem in year 31, nobody else doing past 31 with AZEK, you're still getting 40% coverage.
That's like insane.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
half, that's just about half of the board.
Yeah.
Everybody else is gone. You're still getting half the coverage.
And most of these are depreciating every 2 to 3 years by 10 to 20%. So it's not like it's big jumps. It's like year 1 to year 10, 100%. And then it's like 11 to 13, 80, 14 to 16, 60, 17 to 19, like every 2 or 3 years, it drops another tier.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. That one right
so
there.
Now that we've gone through all of this, who's your favorite warranty?
Oh, not Fiberon Paramount.
Poor Fiberon Paramount.
I just don't like that they don't get the paid stay warranty on. It's pretty hard not to look at the TimberTech AZEK line and say that doesn't have the best warranty. It clearly does.
So what if I said you have to do composite? Because you're
just
doing composite.
Between Trex and TimberTech Pro and Fiberon.
That's a more fair comparison.
That is a fair comparison. Well, I would have to still probably give TimberTech the nod, because if for no other reason, you're getting the extra 5 years. The commercial warranty is the same. The labor warranty is comparable. It's all tiered and whatnot. It's confusing, but it's comparable. And
I like that the TimberTech labor warranty, you don't have to have a certain amount of volume, if I understand that correctly.
No, yeah, you do.
I thought you didn't have to have that much. I thought you just had to be on their program to get a 2-year warranty.
So yeah, that part's true. There's as long as you're a member, you get to offer something.
Right. And I think that's better because there's we're the guys that sell 7 different brands. If you're Mark from Infinite, or if you're Jason, Dr. Dex, those guys are only installing the one. And so they'll hit those numbers, right? And they'll get themselves into the pros and the platinums.
Sure.
But if you're Marson, MG Dex, and he puts a little bit of Fiberon in, he puts a little bit of TimberTech in, he puts a couple Trex decks in.
Yeah.
You want to be able to offer warranty on those products, even though he would do 20 decks, 30 decks.
Yeah.
He's letting his customer choose.
Yeah.
So I like the 2-year warranty on the labor, and that you don't have to get huge volume.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a benefit for sure.
We appreciate you buying some from us.
And I believe that's the same with the Fiberon one. It just says a Fiberon partner. It doesn't say that there's any tier that you have to hit, as far as I know. So it's just be a part of the program you get to. So then that one's probably the strongest then. If that's true, if you don't actually have to be a certain tier,
we should read
partner,
that.
Then that's true.
I thought you had to do, I thought it was value. I thought there was a dollar figure on that partner as well. I thought you had to.
Maybe there is. Yeah, I didn't see it it didn't mention in the statement about the labor warranty. It didn't mention that you had to be a certain tier. It just said a Fiberon partner.
Right.
For what it is. So anyway, the labor warranties are maybe still a little bit cloudy. They're tough to compare. But just on straight board warranty, I think your TimberTech Pro warranty anyway, Edge warranty would be comparable to everybody else, right? That's about the same. But the Pro warranty just gives you that extra 5 years. And so that extra 5 years translates into an extra 10 or 20% throughout the entire life of the warranty. If you make a claim in year 12 or year 15 or year 18, you're just getting a little bit more back on that one. So all things equal. And like I said, the wording in a lot of these are so similar that what they're not going to cover, is similar amongst all of them. They all mention no foreign substances. You can't, that's going to stain things.
Sure.
Don't use sharp shovels, cuts and tears in the decking from being rough with it. They all mention these things.
Yeah.
So they've all got the same kind of outs and fine print and everything. So on the surface, they're all good. They're all really good, right? That's what we tell people all the time in the store. It's we only carry brands that stand behind their product with a good warranty. And these are all good warranties.
Yep.
So I stay away from the ones that only offer 10 or 15 years and all the fine print and there's a reason why they only offer that.
The point that you brought up about just follow the install instructions, to get any type of labor warranty. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
You know, if there's anything you could critique, not that these guys are listening to me, they care what I say, but it's like a DIY warranty would be great. If the guy follows the rules, puts it in, uses, if he installs Trex and uses a Trex universal fastener and puts him 16-inch on center and does 8 inches on his stairs and allows the 1/4-inch gap and the expansion gap on the ends of the boards. He does all this stuff properly.
Yeah.
Keeps it 6 inches off the ground. Like if he does all of the things, then there should be a warranty for that.
Yeah. And that's how decorators operate. So we didn't put decorators into this one today. That'll come in the next one we do.
Yeah.
But decorators offers a way longer labor warranty. It's the full 25 years, and it doesn't matter who puts it down. As long as you put it down properly, you get the warranty.
Follow
that
the rules.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So
good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's the first
That was a big
three.
one.
The first 3 out of the way. So that's good.
That's a big one. Yeah, so I'm really curious. I think this is going to be one that people are going to have some questions about and some clarifications about and some corrections about. Like I said, we didn't write these. We're not lawyers. Some of the wording is very like legal because they got to cover their butts if there's a claim, whatever.
Yep.
And I think it was, I believe it was TimberTech who stated if you have a stain on your deck before you make a claim, you must make an attempt yourself within 1 week to clean the spot. Failing that, if that doesn't work, you have to hire a professional deck cleaner to attempt to clean off that spot.
Okay.
And failing that, you need to make a warranty claim within 30 days of that professional deck cleaner there. Okay. I didn't see that same wording in Trex's. It was just like within 1 week, you have to clean it with soap and water. And if that doesn't work, then you can initiate your claim. But it seemed like with TimberTech, there was an extra step. And it specifically said at your own cost. You've got to hire the deck professional. What constitutes a deck cleaning professional? I
haven't seen one.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But sounds like there's a market for...
Maybe we should open a company.
Yeah. Cleaner decks. Yeah, let's have a chat about this. Let's
I think this will be
let's have some questions, comments. Let's get some feedback on this. What do you guys think? Was this what you guys expected? Like everybody knows there's rough numbers around things. Was there any surprises here? Like how about for you? Was there surprises?
Yeah, the transferable thing. That was a surprise. I didn't know that coming in.
You just assumed it would be, or you just never ever thought about it?
I never thought about it. I assumed it would just stay with the board.
Yeah.
So I thought if it was like a 25-year warranty on the board, if I sold my house to somebody and the receipts for my deck were in the folder, it's like, here's your site survey and your plans for your house and the receipts for the deck and the furnace and the hardwood. There it is, right? It's like this little brochure. I just thought that the warranty would stay with the board, not the owner. Yeah. That's true. It was strange.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that one kind of stuck out to me. I think the very common theme of referring to food and drink spills was like surprising me. I was like, really? Like this isn't so much a fade and stain warranty. This is like the barbecue warranty. You know what I mean? Like I thought anything that went on the deck would be fine if it was like, obviously not some things. You're going to color it with a freaking Sharpie or some sort of paint. Obviously that's going to be a little bit tougher to get off there, but yeah, I was surprised to see the warranty claims talk about food so much, food and beverage. I was like, that's clearly the intent of that warranty is for that purpose. Yeah. So that was interesting. That's it, I think. Hey.
Yeah, that's all I have.
We are getting really close to Deck Expo. Really, really close.
Is it 2 weeks out? 2 weeks out.
It is 2.5 weeks out before we take off land in Louisville. It's going to be a great time, you guys. If you aren't going, book your stuff and get there.
I think it'll be a good time.
Thursday afternoon, we're going to be at the Decorators booth doing some podcasting from 1 to 4. Instagram meetup at 2 o'clock, so make sure you take that in. Friday Warranties, morning. How fun. Till next week, folks. Peace.